Hey y'all, so I'm back with another video, and let's see what today's title of the video. I'll be doing a video about courage. It's gonna be like a real small message, but it holds a lot. I feel like it's gonna hold a lot of power. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Today I had wrote in my book, as you can see, God commands us in his word to be strong and courageous and not to fear, because he's always present with us. So yes, God always tells us not to fear, not to be afraid, always be courageous, always be strong. Like, never be afraid, never, feel like, oh my gosh, or never get panic or be frightened, because he's always there. He's always present with us. Anytime we feel like the world is out of control, everything just in chaos, we can always rely that God is God and he's in control, even when we live in an uncontrolled world. So yes. And then I said, he constantly tells us not to be discouraged, for he is God. Now, what does that mean? It means that even through the good and the bad, he is still faithful to keep his promises. He is still the same yesterday, today, and forever. It means that no matter what's going on in this world, no matter what adversity you're going through, no matter what situations you are going through, God is still God, even in the midst of your situations, even in the midst of disagreements, even in the midst of breakups, even in the midst of, just dividing, even in the midst of all that, even in the midst of chaos, he is still God. He is still in control. He is still going to keep his promises. He is still going to fulfill what he wants for your life. He is still preparing the way for you. He is still making it happen for you. You still have a purpose. He still gives you a purpose, even in the midst of all this. And so, yes. And he is still the same. That's what I was saying. He's still the same. He's always present. He's always there. He's always loving. He's always patient. He's always forgiving. He's always abounding in love. He is the same yesterday, yesterday, today, and forever. And he will always be that way. So, yes. And then I said, if you have put your hope in God, be strong and bold and know that he is going to do it for you. So if you have put your hope in God for anything, I'm talking about for a car, a house, just anything, like marriage, more community, more Christian community friends, more loyal friends, more, just anything. If you have put your hope in God for anything, believe that he's going to do it for you. Matter of fact, I was reading 1 Chronicles today, and I'm about to read this to y'all. It says, I said, seek God and he will give you specific instructions on what to do. So it kind of, when David was inquiring God, like, should I go fight the Philistines? Like, are you going to give them over to me? And God was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Yeah. So it's like, when you seek God and when you inquire God, when you include God in your plans, he will tell you where to go. He will lead you. He will tell you specifically where to put your feet at, where to walk. He will, but we have to seek him. Many times we just want to go on our own way because we just feel like, oh no, I don't like this, or it's just too uncomfortable for us. And so that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to break out my comfort zone, because that's dangerous to stay in it. So I'm really trying to get out my comfort zone. That's why I'm doing uncomfortable things, and it's so uncomfortable, y'all. But at the end of the day, I want to change. I don't want to stay the same. I don't want to be the same person I was in 2022. I want to be better. So, being better, and wanting to mature in Christ and wanting to grow more, it takes uncomfortableness. It does. And so, yes. And yes. And I have a whole bunch of verses right here. I'm going to put them on the screen. So I do have some alternate words for courage. Courage, it could be brave, it could be bold, it could be strong, it could be fearlessness, it could be determined. Like, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like God is leading you to do, do it. And even if you're afraid, do it afraid. Do it even if you feel uncomfortable. Because let me tell you something. I had to do something uncomfortable. And I was afraid to do it, but I did it anyway, because I know that at the end of the day, nothing's going to change if I don't say anything. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to mature. I'm not going to get out my situations. I'm not going to get out, of this feeling if I don't say anything. And so I had to do something uncomfortable in order to level up, in order to keep going forward. So I did that thing, and I don't regret doing that thing. It feels very uncomfortable and very unsettling, but at the end of the day, the peace of God is still with me. So at the end of the day, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, but you know, God is still good. He's still going to keep his promises. He said that he will never leave you nor forsake you. He said that he will always be there for you, even in the midst of adversity. He said even when it feels like you can't go no more, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. He said you can rely on his promises. He said that he will always be there for you. He said that he will never abandon you. He says that when you seek him, you're going to find him. He said that he will walk with you wherever you go. He said that he will always be there. He said he will give you his peace. His peace, y'all. And that peace, that's a peace you can't explain. It's a peace you can't just say, oh yes, that peace is just, I don't know. That peace is just, you can't explain it. That's the thing. Like, you just really can't explain God's peace, because God's peace is not the world's peace. God's peace is just something totally different, because God's peace be peacing. It really does. It really does. But I just wanted to give this message to y'all. Whatever you feel like anything that you feel like God is calling you to do, and you just feel like, I don't have enough boldness, I don't have enough courage, I don't have enough, you know, a power in me to do this. You know what I'm saying? First of all, don't rely on your own strength. Rely on the strength of God. But if you feel like, hey, I can't do this, like I'm too shy to say it, or I'm too frightened, like, don't be frightened. Do it afraid, because if you don't do it, you're going to stay in your comfort zone. You're not going to move, you're not going to grow, you're not going to level up, because you want to stay in your comfort zone. And I know you want to break, and I know it just feels like, oh my gosh, this change is going to be so uncomfortable, but do it anyway. Because let me tell you something. God, he can do great things for you and me, but the point is we have to be obedient. So yes, and I'm trying to do that now. But I hope y'all took something from this message, and I love y'all, and y'all have a blessed day.